Good morning and welcome back to what will be the final regular Thursday special of Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD. And today we are taking a look at the last of the Clan Invasion Kickstarter box sets, the Inner Sphere Fire Lance for Battletech from Catalyst Game Labs. Now, that does not mean I am going to stop producing Battletech content or that I will be no longer looking at Battletech miniatures. There are additional sets that have been released. The Wolf's Dragoon set, the Northwind Highlanders will be coming out soon. So I do want to find a way to work those in, even though we've looked at a lot of the art already, since most of the mechs are just reposes as opposed to new. But we'll come up with something. So do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I not only cover Battletech, but I cover all sorts of tabletop content, from miniatures to board games to card games, and everything in between. And I would love for you to come along and also not miss out when any new Battletech content goes live. So, with that said, don't forget, comment down below. Let me know which of these is your favorite mech, and we'll go from there. So, this is the Inner Sphere Fire Lance. Obviously, it's it's 4 mechs, as is typical in an Inner Sphere organization, and these are some of the big guys in the game. Now, for this set, we get the 85-ton longbow, the 85-ton stalker, the 80-ton Zeus, and the 50-ton trebuchet. And as with all of the sets, it does include 2 cars per mech for just some additional gameplay features. First off, it includes a pilot card for each of the mechs. Now, each of these is double-sided, and it includes a name, a gunnery skill, a piloting skill, a background, and then a special pilot ability. There are, as I said, 2 sides. We've got a St. Ives compact and a House Steiner longbow. We've got a Wolf's Dragoons and a House Merrick stalker, a House Davian and House Merrick trebuchet, and a mercenary and Steiner Zeus. In addition, each of these mechs also comes with a card for Alpha Strike. These are double-sided as well. Okay, typically the art does match the art that you would see on the pilot cards, but these also feature a streamlined record sheet so that you can play games of Alpha Strike, which are designed for large-scale combat, company or regiment size. So that is the basic contents of the box. So let's get a closer look and look at the miniature alongside its art. All right, now first up, we are going to have the longbow. Now, this is the original art for the longbow. It made its appearance in the Star League sourcebook, which was released a couple of years after Battle Droids. Now, obviously, this is one of the designs that... sorry, trying to get more of the mech in frame. This is one of the designs that came out of Macross. However, this particular piece of art never saw the inside of a technical readout. I don't know why it got excluded, but it was used in a variety of Battletech sourcebooks, just never a tech readout. So the first time that we actually saw a longbow make an appearance was this version from 3058. Now, obviously, it's still got the missile pod arms. Looks like they've given it some extra missiles in the torsos and some additional weapons as well. But it doesn't look anything like the original piece of art. It's a very unique style. And it's the first appearance of the longbow in a technical readout. But by that time, the mechs had become the unseen, and so they didn't have access to the original Macross art. Now, this is the Project Phoenix version of the longbow, and this is one that I actually do like. I know I have given the Project Phoenix designers a bit of a hard time, and if any of you are watching, I do apologize. It's not that they were bad designs, it's just they didn't invoke those feelings of the originals. So this one, however, does sort of, capture that feel. The feet have that split toe design that you would see in the Macross mechs, and then obviously, it's kind of hard to go wrong with giant missile pod arms. I do like the pod covers that they did here, and the way they sort of retract back, and I just think it's a nice twist on the design. Now, this is from 3085. So as you can see, the longbow really didn't have a consistent art style just ever. They always kind of did something different. They kept some features, again, the split toes, the missile pods on the arms, sometimes missile pods in the torso, but it still doesn't look like that original piece of art. They could have named this something else, and I wouldn't have noticed. I was just like, okay, that's what it is. But we then go to this one for Ilclan, and I absolutely love this design. I do have an attachment to the longbow because it is one of those Macross designs. Macross and Robotech are literally what are responsible for getting me interested in Battletech. But Battletech did the work to keep me here, and I think this does pay a true homage to the original design. You've got the missile pod arms, you've got the retractable pod covers, but it still feels like it could have been one of those original designs, but obviously a much more modern styling. I really like what they did with this. I think the miniature absolutely captures the design very well, and absolutely think this is fantastic, and I'm super excited to be able to paint this one. So that is the longbow, coming in at 85 tons. And if I didn't mention it, the original appearance was in the Star League source book. For some reason, my brain says I forgot that, but oh well. The next one up is the Stalker. Now, I remember seeing this in Tech Readout 3025 and literally wondering how this thing stayed upright. It's got the back-canted legs, but then it has a normal human knee, but then it's a giant egg, so its center of mass is way forward. I literally have no idea what is going on with this mech. It looks strange, but I just remember focusing on it because of how unique it was. I know people like the mech just from a tactical standpoint, but I'm bad at tactics. I remember mechs based on what they look like, and this one stuck with me. Still never got it. So that is the original Stalker from 3025. Now, it also made an appearance in Camo Specs. Again, Camo Specs was that book where we got to see some mechs in color instead of just the black and white line art. Again, kind of maintaining that design, back-canted, but still the egg shape, with all the weight up front. And then we got this version in 3050. Now, they completely changed the perspective, so I don't know if they made it better as far as from a functional standpoint. But it kind of has that box. It now goes to more of like an egg sticking out of a box design. Not really my favorite, but not horrible. We get this out of 3050 upgrade, I believe. And a little bit better of a design. Still has the regular human style knee, but then you can see where they're trying to do the back canting on the leg there. And then we go to this one for Ilclan. Now this one I think does the design justice. They consistently back cant the legs, but then also they make it look like it's balanced, like it's not overweight, like its center of gravity or center of mass isn't positioned too far forward. Literally, the old Stalker always made me think that it was going to just, take a nosedive and the pilot was going to die. I really like the art. I think the miniature captures it perfectly, and I think they did an absolutely fantastic job with the Stalker. So that's that. Next, we have the 80-ton Zeus. Now, again, this is an original mech out of 3025, and it just looks like a command mech. It's big, it's mean, and it's gonna hurt whatever's on the battlefield. Again, it did show up in camo specs. Same basic design, but we get a little bit of color with it. And then 3050. So I'm always amazed because anytime I look at the art from 3050, I realize how much of it they just, kind of modified the designs from original 3025. And I just never put those together. I'm looking at them now, 30 years later, realizing that, whereas I thought the books were, completely different mechs. So kind of interesting to see that shift, especially in the early days. Now we get this from 3050 Upgrade. I always kind of wondered with this design where it has this up-canted, gun arm. I never understood the design, why they would do it that way, but they definitely kept it. Obviously a bit more of an action pose, so having some fun with that one. But then we go to this one for Ilclan. Now, I think again, it's a great representation of the original art, but then also modernizing it and giving it some good detail. They don't overdo it with the plates. The armor plates, the shoulders have that very, round but sharp-edged design that you see out of the original design. This rounded off rocket pod in the right arm. Overall, I really, really like this this version, and so far this entire set is a hit with me. I enjoy what they did with it. I think they've translated them into the miniatures very well also. Alright, so that is the Zeus. Alright, and for the final mech of this review, we have the Trebuchet. Now, this is, again, a 3025 mech. Weighing in at 50 tons, so it's not necessarily a small mech, but it kind of has sort of like a mini Victor style to it. I like the design. I think it looks well and or looks good. We've got a camo specs version of it, so a little bit simpler piece of art with a little bit of color. The 3050 version. Now this one, I don't know what happened here. It looks like he's wearing like one of those inflatable sumo suits. I actually think the art went down going to 3050. But we then get this one out of 3050 Upgrade. The head is a little odd, but the rest of the mech gets back to a little bit better design. The torso doesn't look so bulky. Not bad. And then we have this one, our Ilclan version. Now, This left arm, I think, is a bit too bulky. I'm not quite sure why it's so big, but it definitely looks like it overweights the mech. But other than that, the proportions all seem right. The head kind of loses some of its distinctiveness, that sort of Victor style look that I was talking about. But then we've got the LRM in the chest, the energy weapons in the right arm. And honestly, I think they did fantastic at transferring over to the miniature. So definitely probably my last one in preference out of this particular set. But overall, I think they did really well. And overall, I'm very happy with this one. So, really good choices there. So, with that said, that is the end of the Clan Invasion Kickstarter Battletech unboxing and review videos. I do appreciate your time. Don't forget, there will be a link to DriveThruRPG down below. That's where I purchased the PDFs for my games, and it is an affiliate link, so it would help offset some of the costs so I can get you guys more reviews. But overall, even if you don't use the link, I don't mind. I'm glad you were watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget, subscribe to the channel. I'll have more content coming out soon, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.